Okay, so now, like I said before, the most important part of a parabola is the vertex. And that is either the bottom or the top point, depending on if you have an up or down parabola. The formula to find the vertex of a parabola is a little odd. Opposite of b over 2a, comma, plug and chug. That's our formula. It's painted on the wall over there, over Katie Kruger. Opposite of b over 2a, comma, plug and chug. That's how you find the vertex of a parabola when the equation is in standard form. And we'll practice that. Don't panic. Okay? Another piece of a parabola is the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is a line where the graph is a reflection on both sides. In the case of a parabola, that's going to be a vertical line that goes up through the middle. If you look at it, if your parabolas are drawn correctly, graphed correctly, both sides are the same. The formula for the axis of symmetry, x equals the opposite of b over 2a, which is just the x-coordinate of the vertex. Finding the vertex really gives you almost everything you need to know, including the axis of symmetry. The y-intercept of a parabola is just c. There's not going to be many times where we need that, but there are times where it would come in handy. Max or min. First of all, you have to decide if your parabola has a maximum or a minimum. It can't have both. An up parabola, a parabola that is going up, what does it have? It has a minimum. A parabola that's shooting off into the heavens does not have a maximum point because it goes up forever. But it does have a floor or a minimum. So up parabolas have minimums, down parabolas have maximums. To find the value of that maximum or minimum, you simply take the y-coordinate of the vertex, which you've already found by plugging and chugging, which we'll talk about. Okay? So there's your information. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 examples together, and then you're going to have 3 for homework. Okay? That's the plan today. Here we go. We're going to graph this quadratic function and state all of the features of the quadratic function. If the first step, which is the most important step and the easiest step, and if you can't do it, this chapter is going to be impossible. Here's the first step. Okay, that is step 1. If you cannot look at a quadratic equation and tell me what A, B, and C are, you will not be successful in this chapter. You will get like a 9 on the test out of 100. You have to be able to look at a quadratic function and tell me what A, B, and C are. A is the coefficient of x squared, B is the coefficient of x to the first, and C is the constant. And you include, like I've got the minus 4 in there, you include those subtraction signs as negatives. Okay, everybody has to evaluate their own abilities and make sure they can do that before we go anywhere. Okay, the vertex of our parabola, we're going to do the opposite of b over 2a. What is the opposite of negative 4? It's 4. What is 2 times our A? 2. And what is 4 divided by 2? 2. So the x-coordinate of our vertex is 2. Now we have to do whatever plug and chug means. Sounds pretty exciting. Plug and chug simply means we're going to take the 2 and we're going to put it into the equation and figure out what it equals. So you have to plug the 2 in and chug out an answer. So when you put the 2 in there, we get 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 9. And that's just simple arithmetic. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Plus 9, I get 5. So our vertex for this parabola is at the point 2, 5. Everybody with me?
Wait, what?
So now we're going to do 1357 times A. What is A? A is 1. So it's just going to be 1357. If it would have been 2, then we would have had 2, 6, 10, 14. If it would have been negative 1, we would have negative 1, negative 3, negative 5, negative 7. But since this one has just an A of 1, we're just dealing with 1357. So from our vertex, we go up 1, up 3, up 5, and that's all I have room for on my graph. And you can see my little green, are those dots? I guess they're green. That help me trace my parabola 135. Just like that. Okay? Vertex and 1357. Let's look at the pieces. How do we tell if it's up or down? Here's one way to tell. I know this one's up because A is positive. You can look at it before you even do it. And if the A is positive, you know the parabola is going to go up. If the A is negative, you know it's going to go down. And that makes sense because if you're going to multiply 1357 by the A, if you're multiplying by a negative, it's going to give you negative numbers. And when you get a negative 1357, you're going down from your vertex. So the A, positive or negative, tells you the direction of your parabola. More pieces. Axis of symmetry. And remember, this is a line. So we have to give an equation for the line. And for our purposes in this section, it's always x equals something. In this case, x equals 2. X-coordinate of the vertex. Y-intercept is c, so that's 9. You should have all these written down. Does this have a maximum or a minimum? Looks like it has a minimum because it reaches into the sky. And where does that minimum occur? The y-coordinate of the vertex, which is 5. That's as low as the parabola gets. And that's pretty much it for that one.